So this week's topic of Amuna Mondays was looking beyond the masks. And before we begin the topic, the class is dedicated to a couple names, so just to have them in mind. It's in honor of Le'ule Nishmat for Yosef ben Devora, Gabrielle Masauda bat Sarah, and Yosef Meir ben Avram Shmuel. May all their neshamot have the ultimate aliyah. And a refuah shalema for Eliezer ben Miriam Rezo. May the person have a speedy, immediate, full recovery. So the topic of looking beyond the masks. Obviously, the holiday just ended of Purim, and people dress up, people get into costumes, they drink, they have fun, it's a party, it's a whole thing. I know when I was younger, like I would see a lot of different sides of people that I've never seen. And when I'm young, I was obviously like very judgmental and like, oh, judging people and like this and that, like, oh, I can't believe you do this or this, all these different things. And it just really like it would linger. It's like it changes the way you see a person, after you see them either, let's say, drunk, or the costume choice they chose, or various things that can just lead your perspective to change on a person. And it gave me some thought, and I thought about it, and the truth is like we need to be able to look past the mask that everybody's wearing. Like, yes, let's say my friend's wearing a costume, yeah, but that's still my friend. Like, I still know that person. And it's not like, oh, they're wearing this costume, so it's not that person anymore. Or they're acting this way, so they're not that person anymore. And yes, I know there's like the concept of like, oh, if you like, the thing that stands out to me is like the concept of like going to therapy, and you can go and get therapy, and you in therapy will learn and find out things about yourself. And it's just as important finding the things about yourself as how to handle the fact that others are not reaching that point. Others are not understanding themselves. Others are not trying to get to the root of their issues or things like that. Like, they're not working on themselves. So like, how do you deal with that? Like, you're dealing with it. You have your angle that you're doing very well on. You're working on yourself. You're trying to, let's say, better, I'm not going to get angry anymore at certain things. Meanwhile, you have a bunch of people that aren't working on themselves. It's like, how do you handle that? How do you work with that? So you can obviously blame them and be like, oh, you need to get therapy, you need this, you need that. Or you just realize that any issue that you contain in your life, it's you. You have control of it. And so, like, what is your control? Obviously, if you can't go and change the person, they're not going to change. It's the person's decision to go and work on themselves and better themselves and correct their mistakes and all these things. You can't do it for a person. But what you can do is no longer see the person as that. It's like, if this person is I think this person is a rude person, this person has treated me wrongly and this and that, I can choose, you know what, I'm not going to see it in that kind of way anymore. I'm going to look past the mask. This person's putting on a mask and he's coming across very rude. All right, I just choose to not. It's not going to change the fact that it's still a human being. It's still a God's creation. That's still a brother, or it doesn't matter who or what it is. But you're giving the benefit of the doubt constantly, and the only capability and the only way to do that is looking beyond what's showing for face value, and it's understanding that, yes, this person might be disrespectful. Yeah, this person might be talking while you're talking or not paying attention. But you can see it as disrespectful, rude, uneducated, wasn't raised properly, no manners, no ethics, no morals, all these things. Or you can just, wow, this person just really doesn't know. And it's not always my job to teach. It's not always my job to express something to somebody that doesn't know. You know what? They don't know, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'll pray for them. I'll hope they find, a solution down the road. I'll hope that they put effort in for themselves. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to cut that person off. I'm not going to shut them out, because yes, they might have an issue, but it's not an issue in their mind because they don't know about it. It's not even it's not an issue to them. They don't see an issue. They don't see a problem. And again, they can be that far from themselves. And that's why it's so important. It's like, why am I talking about this? It's in regards to the fact that every one of us walk around and have different angles that people are looking at us from. You know, some people might think like, wow, this person, he's such a nice guy. And others are like, I can't stand him. Can't stand him. It's like, well, what changed? Literally nothing changed. It's the same person. But there's a bunch of different angles that they can be seen from. And you know, some people will love you, some people are gonna hate you in life. Why? It's just because it's just the vision that they're seeing you through. You know, you can be having a really bad day, you know, and walk into a store and not hold the door open for the person behind you. And now they literally think that you're a schmuck. You're this loser. What the hell? You're rude, no manners. Listen, that one, you were just having an off day. You didn't even realize it was a person behind you. Or you did and just didn't care. But again, just for that moment, just for that day, you didn't care. Something's going on. Should it be normal that a person just gets judged and labeled given the fact of like they screw up one time or they have one off day? That's it. Like count them out. You know, they're not a shadchan opportunity. They're not a candidate for the job. They're not like. Unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. You know, you mess up one time, it's gonna carry on for the rest of your life. Let's say. And it's just bizarre because the truth is like I wouldn't want to be treated that way. So then obviously if you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I remember growing up, whenever we went to the thrift shop, I would go to like the book section and I'd be just looking for a book, maybe like Diary of a Wimpy Kid or something, you know? And I'm going through the books, and as I'm going through the books, they're like, I don't know, a couple of them would like fall. You know, nothing's organized in a thrift shop, and it just falls. But you know, there's 10 other books on the floor, so it's not a big deal. I don't think anything of it. And my mom would be like, pick it up. I'm like, what? Mom, I'm not picking up the book. There's like 10 on the floor. Like, why am I picking up the book? I didn't make that mess. There's other books. And she's like, no, pick it up. I'm like, what? Why? And she said, because if everybody did what you just did, there'd be no books on the shelf. But if everybody does what you do and pick up the book, there'd be no books on the floor. And it's like with that logic, you understand it's like it needs to start somewhere. The chain needs to start somewhere. Yeah, there's 10 books on the floor between 10 people or one person did not pick up the book 10 times. So I can just be like, okay, I'll be 11. Or I can be like, no, I'm going to be 1 and start the new chain. And it's understanding like that's the key thing. It's like give the person the benefit of the doubt, start the chain, because yes, you have all these reasons not to pick up the book. You have all these reasons not to treat this person nicely, not to like this person, not to communicate with them. But at the same time, it's like that needs to change. Something's got to change if you ever want it to change. If you want this person to be nice to you, why would they be nice to you if you're going to constantly be mean to him? But it's like, no, but he's being mean to me. Okay, so the chain's going to be endless. It's going to be an endless cycle of you being mean to him and he's going to be mean to you, and it's going to get you nowhere. When if you can just look beyond it, okay, the person's having a bad day, you make up reasons. Make up reasons. Eventually, you're starting a new chain and it's going to catch on. Because it's like no one's just going to openly be mean to a person that is constantly being nice to them. Yeah, maybe at first because they're not used to it. Yeah, they might use this person. Yeah, but eventually it's going to click. It will. Some take longer than others, but it will click. And it's like understanding the fact that it can take a month, it can take a day, it can take 10 times, it can take 2 times, it can take 100 times. If you start the cycle and you just keep going and be consistent on it on a positive end, there's no reason it won't benefit the person and yourself. And with that, it's really important to understand every single one of us carry a mask with us every single day. Whether it's traumas, whether it's things we're dealing with, whether it's the emotions you're carrying that day, every single person has a mask. And it's our job to look through it, not to have the person and tell the person, hey, bro, you're wearing a mask, take it off. No. I can't control if you take it off or not, but I can choose to see through it or not. I'm going to choose to see through it. And I feel like that's the benefiting factor of all these things, of all this whole thing about changing people. Like, no, you're not changing anyone. You're working on yourself, and you're understanding that any problems that you encounter in life, it's on you. You have control on it. You can continue on it. You can sit on it. You can dwell on it, or you can move past it. It's all up to you. It's not based on the other person and what they've done. So with that, again, Lulei Nishmat through Yosef ben Devora, Gabriel Masoud de Batsara, and Yosef Meir ben Avram Shmuel. May all their neshamot have the ultimate aliyah, as well as a refuah shalema for Eliezer ben Miriam Razel. May the person have immediate, speedy, full recovery. See you next week.